Currency's definition is a system of money in general use in a particular country. Most are familiar with terms such as the dollar, yen, peso, and the like. Some use an exchange of goods or services in replacement of money. Others use a much more ancient way of barter. After all, William Shakespeare once wrote how the merchant of Venice would use a pound of flesh as a means of paying a debt. Episode 10, Currency of the Soul. Hello, Echo. How are we tonight?
Apparently, on our way to a tattoo parlor.
Indeed. Last session, you had decided to take a night off. Go have a quick meeting with one Isabella. Encourage your ghoul and... well, you're not really sure what Corey is quite yet. Maybe a protege, maybe a younger sibling. But they are currently in the safety of the Velvet Pussycat under the watchful eye of Marcus Blackwood, as you find yourself searching a lead for... you're not quite sure. Maybe picking up the pieces of your old colleague. Maybe finding something deeper. Maybe finding nothing. A loose end that doesn't lead to anything. How are you getting there this evening?
How far is it from Seraphina's place?
Well, once you leave Seraphina's place and input the address that Chris had sent you, you see that it is roughly a 30-minute drive from where you are right now.
Too far to walk.
Yes.
Screw it. Let's take an Uber.
All right. You take an Uber. The Uber driver comes, picks you up. You do the regular...
Wait a minute. Better yet. Echo reaches again into that pocket, pulls out a business card, looks at it, makes a call on the phone to Cat Calls.
You, after a few rings, you get a response. Hello, Cat Calls.
I need a pickup, please.
Location?
That's a little difficult.
Ah, I think I know where you are then. And where will you be going?
I'll give the person on the other end of the phone the address.
And will you be needing a return drive?
More than likely. And discretion, of course, is of utmost priority with this.
Very well then. I will have one of my girls come and help you momentarily.
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, could I have the name for the for who's getting the service tonight?
E.
Very well, E. One of my girls will be by momentarily. And the phone hangs up. About 5 minutes later, you see that they seem to have taken your request literally. And a regular, everyday car pulls up. 4 doors, black. The only thing that's out of place is the unusually dark tinted windows as it pulls up. The driver's side window rolling down as they lean out. You called?
I did. Thank you. And I will hop in the car.
You hop in. The interior is impeccably clean. Looks like it has not quite a new car smell, but a clean car smell. as they begin to drive towards the establishment that you asked them to.
Echo's going to... Sorry, go ahead.
The driver glances in the rearview mirror. Do you want me to park right out front, or do you want me to park a little bit away?
A couple of blocks away would be great. Thank you.
Very well.
Better yet, if you could circle around the block once or twice, just so I can get a look at the place.
Alrighty then. The driver is a very good driver, it turns out. Smooth. Goes in and out of traffic like they've been doing this for decades. And begins to, after 30 minutes, find the place and starts to a go around. Bleeding Color is a dark tattoo parlor that feels like a sanctuary for anyone looking to ink their soul onto their skin. It's situated in the heart of a quiet, almost forgotten alleyway, enough so that you can still see it from the streets. The exterior of the building is despicably unassuming, yet there's something about it that has this hypnotic pull for anyone looking for something deeper, something more than a simple tattoo. It's an old building with chip paint that looks like it needs to be retouched. On one wall to the far side, a mural is slowly being painted, and there is a sign that says Bleeding Color in a range of rainbow colors and neon lights that light up the parking lot out front.
What time is it?
Currently, it is roughly... Let's see. What time is Sun's... You've been awake for about an hour. It is roughly 11:30. Do you recall that Marcus had said that this establishment, both Marcus and Chris had said this establishment prided itself on catering to those who had evening and night lives, and that it was open from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Yeah. Taking a look at kind of the outside of the building and whatnot. Looking down at my watch. When the driver stops, I will thank him and get out of the car and walk down the street towards the establishment. Take a bit of a closer look at the place.
Anything you're looking for in particular?
Just anything I might not notice from a moving vehicle, anything that kind of stands out.
Well, you do see that the mural looks like it has been freshly painted. There is that fresh scent of paint on it, meaning it was just started to work on either today or the day before. Looks like it is similar to the sign, a burst of different colors ranging from the darkest of reds to the brightest of yellows, but yet somehow still has this intermingling and this harmony to it, even in its early stages. The windows that show the inside show that the lights are on, however, they are frosted in a way where you can only see depictions of artwork once again, featuring different styles from the American classic tattoos all the way to fine line art and distinctive colors and black and white ink colors.
And with that, I will open the door and step into the shop.
Excellent. If you could change it over to the rock. Excellent. Once you walk in, you're hit with an atmosphere that blends the best of both worlds. Grunge and gothic, biker rebellion, and occult mystery. The air is thick with the smell of fresh ink and burning candles along with light incense. The walls are adorned with tattoo art, each one more intricate and detailed than last, some featuring twisted skeleton designs, others intricate symbols that seem to glow faintly under black light. Heavy velvet curtains separate the tattoo stations, and dark vintage furniture line the room. High-backed chairs, worn leather couches, and an old cabinet filled with strange trinkets, strange items, as well as, strangely enough, what you see first, a Furby that is wearing a combat vest and has an eye patch that seems to just stare into your soul like the old 90s toy that it is.
You see Echo just kind of shudder as their eyes land on the Furby. Just, ugh. There any, like, chairs in the front lobby here?
There are a few chairs, and if you... 1 second as I try to get this fucker here. If you look in the side chat, you will actually see the Furby.
Okay.
You actually hear a almost breathless laugh as you look at the reception desk to see a young man. He has bright blue and pink hair that's in an ombre, multiple piercings in one ear, wearing a dark hoodie that has a he/him badge on it with the trans flag. Most noticeably about him, though, is a very well-healed scar along his neck as he's just laughing at you, noticing the Furby.
First thing...
he lifts up...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He lifts up a sign similar to the one where you lifted up, and the writing instantly disappears. He holds it up and says, "Her name's 8-Ball."
Those things... One moment. Those things always did creep me out.
If you look in the side chat, you actually see a photo of this young individual.
Yep.
They appear to be in their early to mid-20s. Soft features on the face.
First things first.
Once again, let up.
I'm gonna pop heightened senses, and I'm just gonna take a listen for a moment. Does he have a heartbeat?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
You actually hear 2 heartbeats, but the other heartbeat is much faster, and it is also behind the desk.
Give me 1 sec.
If everyone looks in the side chat, you will actually see this individual.
Sorry, go ahead.
Everything good?
Yeah, no, just my father.
You, with your heightened senses, you do hear his heartbeat very strong, what you hear from most humans. And you also hear a second heartbeat that is beating quite a bit faster, also from behind the desk, but you do not see anybody.
Echo looks really uncomfortable and out of place here for a moment. Like, they're not quite sure what to do with this. Just kind of looks around, taking in the decor. And then their eyes kind of move over to the individual behind the cash register.
He is still smiling widely. He is clearly amused by the fact that you seem disturbed by 8-Ball.
I mean, it's a Furby. Those things are nightmare fuel.
He takes his little writing board, writes something down, lifts it up again, and says, "Yeah, that's the point. Head of security."
Echo lets out a chuckle. Hearing impaired?
He shakes his head and points to his neck.
Gotcha.
Writes it down, and it just says, "Mugging gone bad when kid. Gave as good as I got, though."
Hate to see the other guy.
Pulls up a sign. "Yeah, now missing very important appendage."
Echo smiles, laughs, and just like, that's something I can get behind.
Your laugh actually seems to awaken something as you see a small head pop up from behind the desk, because there is... Basically, it's similar to almost like those old secretary desks where there is a top part where they have like the debit machine and stuff, and then there's the desk that this individual's on, and you see pops up the head, the perhaps owner of that second heartbeat you heard, a small puppy that lifts its head up and looks at you.
Cute dog.
He flips up the sign again and says, "Her name's Mud."
And you didn't go for Mutt?
No, we don't discuss parentage around her. She doesn't know she's adopted.
So, what do you have for designs? Take a look through those.
He gestures to the large wall that is across from you, which is a mural of photos, and beside each photo you actually see there's like a little description of each. And he also lifts up, "We also have an Instagram."
Echo pulls out their phone, flips through, opens the Instagram app, and we'll throw them a follow.
As you're looking through it, you see several different tattoo designs, ranging from bursts of beautiful watercolors to intricate tribal work to very, very fine designs. You see some simplistic, like one tattoo that seems to be on a man's pectoral that has, you think it's a simple mouse design with 2 dates along the tail. You see ones that are bursts of watercolors against flowers. You see one that's almost depicted of a Vincent van Gogh design.
That's cool. I like that.
You also see several pictures of people getting piercings of different kinds. You see some of them that just have a black and white that say, "And then we got an ampelang."
Huh. So Echo's going to take a moment and is going to just scroll through all of these designs, taking their sweet time. What do you guys normally charge?
Rowan flips up the board, starts to write something down, lifts it. Depends on what you want to get. Piercings have different prices. obvious reason, tattoos, how big you want to get. The boss also apparently will take blood sacrifices.
Define blood sacrifices.
He lets out like another chuckle and lifts up a thing. If you bring in proof that you've donated blood within the last week, you get a discount.
Is the boss around?
He looks up towards the clock and then just writes down when to go get us some dinner.
Ah, gotcha.
He then writes something else down and lifts up. Looking for a consultation? Question mark?
No, looking for some information on a buddy of mine.
He just puts a big question mark.
Echo is going to once again flip through her phone, look for a very specific photo. Looking for one of Jeremy. And is going to hold it up.
Roll me a wits insight. Do you have insight?
I better have insight. I do have insight. I got 2 dots in it. Wits plus insight, huh? That's 4 and 2 is 6. Replace one of those dice with a hunger dice. That's a 2.
Also rolled a 2.
You want me to roll a d10?
Sure. Roll a d10, see what you get.
5.
Okay. It's fast. You would almost miss it, but there is like a small micro expression where he looks visibly uncomfortable when you bring up that photo.
I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm just looking for information. That's it.
He holds up a sign. Why?
Because he didn't do his job right. And he was tracked coming out of here.
He holds up another sign. Buzz Bulletin?
That's his boss. Well, that's his company. Ain't mine.
He just flips it, writes something else down. Boss kicked him out. Was a dick.
Echo's gonna pop awe. Does not require a rouse check.
Okay.
Anyone in the presence of a vampire finds their attention inexplicably drawn to them. Those listening to the vampire speak might suddenly agree on subjects where they once held different viewpoints. While this power doesn't cause rapt infatuation, it is still strong enough to sway the minds of most mortals. So that's going to be a manipulation plus presence. So for me, once I hit, that's 2 plus presence is... Oh, this is going to suck. Versus composure plus intelligence on your end. And I need to replace one of those with a hunger dice. Oh, this might not suck. That's a messy critical.
This young man is instantly enraptured by you.
I'm not here to... So, tell me about him. What happened? You said he was a dick. Why did he get kicked out? Because he didn't exactly come out of this place sober. We both know that.
He breaks eye contact for a moment, begins to write something down, holds it up, asks me if I had the right parts.
Yeah, that sounds like him. I'm sorry about that. He's a bit of an ass. I didn't say I liked him. Just said he's a buddy of mine. Not really a buddy, more an ex-colleague. I know him.
He then begins to write something else down, pauses, lifts the page up to erase it, and then begins to write down again. Lifts up the board, asking about other clients.
Was he asking about Macy Velour by any chance?
You actually see this man have a very solemn, sad expression on his face when you mention Macy. Writes down simple, yeah.
Shame about her, but he also doesn't know how to do his job right. I do know, like I said, he was spotted here, but he also called here at one point and had a bit of a conversation with somebody. Do you know who that was?
He holds up a sign and says, "Don't laugh. It was me."
What'd you two talk about?
He writes something else down and says, "Wanted to talk to the boss. Ask about Macy. Boss worked on Macy."
I see. Did he actually get in to talk to your boss?
Yeah. Came around. He pauses to think. Trying to remember for sure. Then writes down around 8:30 the other day.
I think your boss and I need to have a talk.
"Oh, do you now?" You hear a voice from behind you speak as the door opens.
Speak of the devil, I'm assuming?
You look behind you, you see a man who, although not as tall or imposing as Marcus, definitely has a bit of height compared to you. He has olive-colored skin and hair that's done in braids that is in pink, yellow, and blue that cascades upwards into a bun and then down. He is covered in tattoos and has several piercings. In one of his hands, he's holding a takeout container. In the other, a leash with another dog you recognize as a Staffy, who is behaving very well, although eyeing the food in this man's hand. He has a swimmer build, wide shoulders, narrow hips, defined muscles on his arms that show off his tattoos. He takes a sip of something from the McDonald's cup, looking at you with a raised brow as he puts down the large takeout bag on the desk, and he's like, "There you go, Roman." "And who," he looks you up and down, a small smirk on his face, "might you be?"
Echo's gonna look over at the individual behind the counter. "Thanks, Roman. It was a pleasure." And
He smiles and gives a salute.
We'll turn and look at this newcomer. I would be someone who's looking for a bit of information. Perhaps you and I can have a chat somewhere more private?
"Come into my office then," he says. He takes the leash off of the dog, and the dog still obediently follows, although you're not sure if it's because of the McDonald's bag that he is holding as he's walking, because you do see that this dog is very focused on it as he begins to walk towards one of the stations that is hidden by a velvet curtain.
Echo is going to keep a healthy distance from the dog. and is going to follow into the office. On the way there, is also going to pop heightened senses. Does this guy have a heartbeat?
He does.
Then we'll follow him into the office.
The office is less of an office and more of a tattooing and piercing station. You do see off to the side there is 2 chairs, very comfy looking chairs, as well as a well-worn and loved dog bed where this dog obediently lays down, still looking up at this individual with the cutest puppy eyes you've ever seen, tail thumping against the ground, as Bastian takes out a plain burger, puts it gently on the dog's nose and says, wait. Okay. And the dog instantly devours the burger. And he just gives it a scritch like, good job, Maud.
Man.
It's a good puppy.
You know, dogs can understand consent, but apparently certain humans can't these days. Makes me fear for the human race sometimes.
Mon cher, you can say that again.
Do I detect a bit of a French accent on you?
From Louisiana down south.
Ah, that explains it. Always wanted to go there. Might have to make a trip one of these days.
Ooh, I recommend it. Wonderful place to visit. Not always best place to live, but wonderful place to visit.
So much history and lore down there. Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, sorry, got sidetracked. Do you mind if I have a seat?
Go right ahead.
Echo will walk over to one of the chairs, take off the jacket, hang it over the back of the chair, and just park themselves in the chair. Apologies for the lack of notice, but I'm looking for some information on a buddy of mine. Well, more of an acquaintance. More of somebody I know.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't say he's a buddy of mine.
Yes, one Jeremy. With Jeremy, what's his face?
Cortez works for Buzz Bulletin.
I know him.
Do you now?
He's no longer allowed here. He's no longer allowed here, is what I can say.
Yeah, that's what Roman at the front was saying. Apparently you gave him the boot.
Rowan.
Oh, sorry, Rowan.
Rowan.
Apparently you gave him the boot.
Let's just say I don't take kindly to people making people who are mine uncomfortable.
Yeah, he does have a habit of doing that. Gave him a bit of a thrashing myself. Downtown a few nights ago. It was an absolute pleasure, but that's beside the point.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I'm going to say, I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm just looking for information.
Really now?
Just get that right off. Just get that right off the bat. And Echo will actually shuffle through a jacket pocket again. Turn around, shuffle through the jacket pocket, pull out a business card. Echo.
He takes the card, looks it over.
On the business card is now the Buzz Bulletin logo that's been crossed out with marker and just says Echo Vision on it.
He gives a small chuckle, puts it into his skinny jeans before pulling out his own wallet, flipping through it, hands you his own, and on it it says, Bleeding Colors, in Capens, embrace it. And underneath it, it says, Bastian the words. Words are hard.
They are, absolutely.
Bastian Dugas, owner and artist.
Bastian, pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
Rowan was telling me that her dear friend was looking for some information on one Macy Velour. And that he got to talking to you.
That he did.
I'm curious what you two talked about.
He asked if she came here. I said she did.
Well, did he look sober when he was here?
Somewhat.
Define somewhat.
Well, let's just say I wasn't paying much attention to his frame of mind after he made Rowan uncomfortable.
Yeah. He has an
So
issue
I gave
with
him
that.
an option. He could either handle things how my daddy did it down south, or I give him some ink or a new hold.
How long was he here for?
Not long. I'd say maybe an hour before I kindly escorted him out of my establishment. So around 8:30. We talked for a bit, and I did my thing. So around 10.
Is there anything that he talked about that seemed kind of out of line?
You mean aside from the fact that he asked Rowan some personal questions that are between him and his doctor?
Aside from the fact that he asked about Rowan's genitals, which let's just make it clear. No. Straight up no.
Asked a lot of uncomfortable questions about Macy, which I did not appreciate.
What did he ask about?
Habits of hers. Relationships, if she ever talked about anything. Which, I might not be a doctor, he says as he takes a sip of his drink, grimacing slightly. Oh, that's gone bad. Puts it down. Macy and Rowan were close. They were friends.
That explains the look on Rowan's face.
Macy was actually the one that, Rowan would practice on Macy because Macy wanted to help Rowan. So she was here that night getting some new piercings in.
Rowan wants to become a tattoo artist.
That it does. He's actually pretty good, especially with watercolors.
Jeremy, as you know, was investigating Macy, seemed kinda off. I don't think he went about things exactly the right way and got himself into a bit of hot water.
No. Really?
Yeah,
I
right?
had no idea.
I'm just stating the obvious here for a second. He doesn't actually give a shit. He's there for his 15 minutes of fame. He's a rich kid that doesn't care. He doesn't know what it's like.
He, the dog, who you believe you heard Bastian call Maud, puts a head on his lap, looking at the bag of food. Bastian just scratches the dog's head. I don't appreciate reporters coming in here and trying to make things harder than they can, mon cher. I gotta admit, I'm just trying to run a business.
Yeah, I get that. 100%. And as a thank you for your time, I don't exactly have the biggest following, but you're career friendly. Obviously.
That I am. Rowan's not my only employee that's under the rainbow, so yeah. He just works the night shift.
That's fine. I don't exactly have the biggest following yet, but I'm gonna give you a shout out. Not much, least I can do. Point people in your direction. I have a slight leaning towards the, I guess, mysterious, the occult, and the queer. Seems like your kind of crowd, yeah?
He grins widely at you, and you do see some very nice prosthetic teeth, fangs in his mouth. He says, "You could say that."
Echo will return the grin, actually, with their own fanged smile. Is there anything else that you can tell me about your interaction with Jeremy that I might want to know? Anything that might seem out of place? Anything that maybe seemed alright in the moment, but now looking back on it, you think was out of place? Or just odd?
First, I gotta ask, and be honest with me, what exactly is your relationship with Jeremy?
I'm an ex-colleague of his, and I do use the word colleague loosely. Both used to work for Buzz Bulletin. I'm striking it out on my own now. I have no love for the man whatsoever. He's made my life hell more than once.
I see. He stands up, slowly walking towards you. Do you still have heightened senses up?
Yes.
It takes a second for you to notice when he's standing right in front of where you were sitting, leans down, one hand beside your head, the other suddenly on the side of your face as you realize you only hear one heartbeat as he says, "Word of advice, you ever use a discipline on my ghoul again, you and I will be having words."
Sorry, my apologies. I was looking for information. I was unaware.
Clearly. He has this very deadly look in his eye before he just grins at you, gently pats the side of your face. Well, he stands up. I will say, mon cher, I might have taken a bit of a blood sacrifice from him for the trouble. He doesn't remember much of it, so that's might be why he seemed a bit drunk.
That explains it. Okay.
And then I may or may not have given him a bit of ink that he'll find at a later date.
Oh, I like you.
I can't exactly let anyone that walks in here leave without something added to their body.
So, what's it gonna cost me?
He looks you over for more information about what happened.
I mean, we can talk while you draw if you want.
You want ink or a new piece of jewelry?
Begs the question, will the ink stay?
It will if I do it.
Oh, I like you. Dealer's choice.
All right, have a seat, he says, gesturing to his chair as he walks over to his station, beginning to get some things set up. You see the dog look at you, and you realize this is the calmest a dog has been around you since you've been embraced.
Cute dog.
Thank you. Her name's Maud Wagner.
Maud Wagner.
Named after the first female tattoo artist in recorded history.
Love that so much. So let's talk.
As you sit down, Maud
seeing that you sat down, suddenly gets very excited and suddenly hops up on your lap and just sits there like how most dogs think they're lap dogs.
I have a better idea. You said Rowan wants to practice, yeah?
That he does.
How's he doing? How's he doing?
Him. He's been transitioning for the last year.
How's he been doing these days with his art?
Pretty good. Like I said, he was practicing on Macy before poor girl went down.
He wants practice. Why don't you and I talk while he does the work?
All right then. He walks over to the point where he's like poking his head out. Rowan! And you see, instead of continuing to speak, he actually begins to sign towards Rowan something. He then has a look like, and they're still like, boy, will you just come here? Rowan walks over, looking very unsure, as the two begin to sign at each other. Bastion has a very playful smile on his face as they are having this entire conversation silently. Before Bastion's like, yes, it will work. It will work, yeah. Well, next time you text me sooner when one of my kind come in here. You know how to look for them. Which, by the way, we'll be having a conversation about this later, young man.
Don't be too hard on him. I mean, I did kind of distract him.
Well, that you did. But still, he knows better. And I'm gonna get an earful from the friggin' Baron about this, he says as he walks over to his place. By the way, are you the one I've been hearing rumors about?
Depends what rumors.
Apparently you're going around ghouling every single kind you meet.
Not everyone. But there is a purpose behind it.
Ooh, you are breaking so many rules, he says, grinning as he pulls on some gloves.
Yeah, never to give too many shits about rules of society. I'm trying to do something here, and I prefer to get things set up quickly. Move kind of fast. So far, it seems to be working. We'll see how things go.
You're gonna piss off the wrong kind of people. You're gonna piss off the wrong kind of people, and it's either going to be glorious or it's going to be in a situation you can't talk yourself out of, mon cher.
We'll see about that. You see Echo just sitting back in the chair, literally just like relaxed, like a weight's been lifted a little bit.
Rowan looks between you, Bastion, back at you, back at Bastion, signs something. Bastion's like, he wants to know what you want.
And Echo turns their head to Rowan. What do you think would look good?
He begins to sign, stops, groans, brings out his pad, and just says how big you want it and where do you want it.
What do you think would look good?
Bastion is just trying very hard not to laugh as Rowan looks at you exasperated. Bastion says, he's a Libra. He can't make a decision to save his life. Rowan just stomps his foot, makes a very rude gesture at Bastion, who just grins. Before Bastion just sighs, signs something, and Bastion says he says to give you his arm and he'll work on it as we talk.
And Echo will pass over the arm.
So what exactly do you want to know, mon cher?
Whatever you want to tell me. Whatever you feel comfortable telling me. Whatever we talk about stays between us. Especially if it's confidential. Nobody knows where I got my information from.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're uncomfortable talking about a topic, you let me know. If we delve too far into things.
Mon cher, there are very few things I am uncomfortable talking about.
I want to know about Jeremy. I want to know about Macy, and my condolences on her, by the way.
Rowan looks at you as he's putting on his gloves, smiles sadly, and signs thank you. Bastian sits down, stretching his neck out a bit. You actually see him reach up, pop off what you thought were the prosthetics, which they were, but they seem to be less prosthetics and more caps, as you see as he takes them off. A more slightly shorter, but still very obvious fang underneath. Well, let's see. He came in here acting all hoity-toity, I'm better than you.
As he does.
First of all, he arrived about an hour and a half before sunset, which is annoying because when I wake up around then, I want to relax a bit, but no. Can't let well enough be. So, instead, he and I have a discussion about Macy. I tell him point blank. Sweet girl, comes in once in a while, helps Rowan with some things. Mainly piercings and stuff, and like the odd hidden tattoo, but because currently she's trying to be a good kid and not give her parents a complete heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
Then starts asking uncomfortable questions. Did she seem like she was using? Did she seem like she was all there when she arrived? Which, bold of him to assume I let anyone sit in our chairs if they are under the influence.
Solid.
Then he made the mistake of making Rowan uncomfortable, which I don't know how long you've been at this, but I'm pretty sure you sense that after you ghoul someone, you start to become a bit more protective, in a manner of speaking.
Yeah.
It does not get better as you get older.
So I gather.
Doesn't help that I view, doesn't help with my clan either. Let's just say we take protecting our things very seriously.
Fair.
I will say this though. I have no idea where these reports are getting that she's a drug user from.
Echo raises an eyebrow a little bit. Yeah, that's not the impression they're given. Seems to be all over the news that she died of an overdose.
Which is what I was surprised about. The girl was terrified of needles.
Okay.
And was a lightweight. Whenever she would indulge in something, typically it was weed, and even then we had to give her a quarter of a dose. I think the most she could handle was like 0.05.
Drug use that doesn't fit personality. Interesting.
Mind you, she did say she was going out to do some experimentation, so I'm not sure if she got in over her head or not. But I will say, Macy, Lord rest her soul, was a very straight-laced girl.
Do you know if she made any new friends recently?
She did. She didn't say it to us. Well, she didn't say it to me. Rowan.
Rowan, who is very focused on your arm,
Just shakes their head, but pauses a moment, thinks it over.
Did her behavior patterns change? Did she seem off at all?
He begins to sign something, and Bastion, without missing a beat, she mentioned something about meeting up with a girl she'd been seeing.
She mentioned a name?
No, Bastion continues to speak for Rowan. No,
Echo's looking right
serious
at
yet.
Rowan. Like, right at Rowan.
Rowan seems to appreciate that as he signs, and Bastion translates, no, wasn't that serious yet. Didn't want to jinx it either. This was only their third date.
Where'd she meet her?
Coffee shop. No, wait. He pauses and tries to remember. Board game shop? Bastion says, tilting his head, signing back something to Rowan. Sorry, asking for clarification.
You don't have to apologize.
Rowan-
Do what you need to do.
Rowan pauses, signs something slowly as Bastion says, one of those drink coffee and board game shops.
Board Game Cafe.
Rowan nods.
Do you know the name of it?
He pauses, thinking it over as he begins to finger spell, and Bastion waits until he's done and says, Scrabble latte.
Thank you. I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. You look like you were focused on your work. And
Rowan shakes it off and then continues to sign for a few moments as Bastion translates and says she was going to meet her up there. They were going to hang out, and then Macy was going to go to a party for a friend afterwards at one of the nightclubs in town.
do you know which
Used to
nightclub?
hopping.
Do you know which nightclub?
I think it was called Nightlife or Knife Light. I don't remember for sure. I was on 3 hours of sleep.
That's fair. Thank you.
He then signs she was going to be the DD.
The designated driver. That doesn't line up with somebody who would have OD'd. Fascinating. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. You were pretty focused on your work there, kid.
He gives a thumbs up as he continues. Bastion cracks his neck slightly. You see the broken chain tattoo moving slightly with him as he does this. Yeah, sweet girl. We come in all the time. Always give me some new baked good that she was working on or some dog-friendly treat for Maud, which is why she's gained a few pounds. Maud, seeming to sense that he's talking about her, looks over with the biggest staffy grin, tail wagging.
So, anything else you want to talk about?
Jin looks at you. How long have you been at this?
Been at the whole Jeremy/Macy angle?
I mean, at this lifestyle.
You're talking like us. God. week, maybe 2 at that, somewhere around there. Why?
Well, I've been at this for quite a while, mon cher.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, I can tell sometimes if a Khan is involved with us. Macy was not, to my knowledge.
She was one of us?
Not one of us, no. I don't even think she was a ghoul. To my knowledge, she didn't know nothing.
Fascinating.
If anything, she always said she was worried about me for not getting enough vitamin D. I did have some of her sorority sisters come in a couple nights afterwards to give their condolences to Rowan over there.
Interesting.
I can see about getting them in here again.
I would be highly appreciative of. What's it going to cost?
Same thing it costs for any of us to do something for one another.
How big are we talking?
Well, it's not really an inconvenience, and provided they come in here and are willing to get some ink or a new piece of jewelry in, let's say you owe me a minor boon. Alternatively, you could always just let me use you as a canvas. He says, wagging his eyebrows slightly.
Counter offer.
Hmm.
Like I said, I don't have the biggest following, but I'm trying to start something up on my own. We focus more on the occult, more on the night side of life. Not enough of those publications around here. I'm attempting to grow and build an audience. You have a message you need put out. If you need to create a paper trail of something. If you want to put out an announcement. How about we consider a fair trade partnership?
Could be amenable to that.
I act as, in part, a mouthpiece, to a certain extent, and you keep your ears to the ground and listen, rumblings, rumors, and you just slip me things every so often. Anything you think I might have an interest in, anything you think is odd, anything that's out of the blue. I can write, I can probe, I can investigate. It's what I do. It's what I've trained to do. Echo goes to adjust in the seat without disturbing the arm that's being worked on. I don't fit in with your run-of-the-mill print media. Never have, never will. Matter of fact, the night I ended up as one of us was supposed to be my last. Things just weren't working out, and now I've got a whole new fucking lease on life. Take my fate into my own hands and make the world bend to my will. We can create absolute miracles together. Cover tracks, paper trail, make people believe whatever we want with the written word.
I guess I can get behind that.
I also got
Alright.
quick question. Just sidestep for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Rowan, not to be rude, but I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
How old are you? Like I said, not to be rude. There's a reason I'm asking.
He begins to sign something as Bastion once again translates apparent or true?
Apparent.
23.
I got somebody you might want to meet. Somebody I think you'd get along with swimmingly. Somebody who needs friends. Somebody who needs a little bit of kindness showed to them. Somebody that I picked up off the street and gave a stable place to work on some schoolwork while they finish out their high school. What do you say to make
He
an
begins to sign again. Are you trying to set up a play date?
Not a play date. Corey's had a bit of a rough life. Needs a bit more social life. Needs to get out, needs to start learning how to interact with people that might not think any less of them.
He begins to sign again. As Bastion translates, I'll give you my business card to give to her.
Excellent. And Echo will again pass out a business card to Rowan. I'm not like other kids.
Bastion actually takes the business card and says he's wearing gloves.
Fair. Sorry. Oversight on my end. From what I've gathered, Kindred have a certain way about them. I don't fit in with that. Never have, never will.
I think I know a few kindred who you would get along with swimmingly, mon cher.
We should talk. Anyways, sorry. With that being said, what do you say? Do we have a deal?
He holds out his hand for you to shake with the arm that isn't being worked on right now. I say we have a deal, mon cher.
Echo will take the hand, we'll shake it. Good.
He shakes it and then gives it a slight kiss on the back of your hand, just like, pleasure doing business with you, mon cher.
You as well. You've actually given me a couple of places to start scratching at.
Well, if you ever need some backup, I'd be happy to help.
I'll keep that in mind. Besides, you're easy on the eyes.
I have been told that quite a bit. As you look over, you actually see, surprisingly, very quickly, Rowan seems to be done as he's taking off his gloves. And he's done a watercolor bouquet on your wrist as you look into the side chat.
Now that, Echo says, looking down at the arm, that is a work of art.
All right. One moment, then he said, Bastion says, as he reaches over, gently taking your hand. Let me double check what I have to roll for this. First of all, you gotta do a rouse check. Good boy, Bastion.
You got some talent, kid. That is absolutely gorgeous.
Rowan is smiling. Just clearly very pleased with himself as Bastion focuses on your arm. Okay, so I need a resolve potence check. You have 3 resolve. 5 potence. Okay, wow. Okay. With practiced ease, you see as Bastian takes your hand, focusing on it, as he gently, ever so softly, brings his hand up and over the tattoo. You feel this strange sensation of your flesh molding and moving and almost coming alive as you see not only the tattoo healing almost instantly, but actually looking, instead of freshly inked, as if it's been there for at least 3 months.
Okay, that's a neat trick. What do you call that?
Flesh crafting.
Interesting.
It's a bit of an advanced technique. Can you learn potence?
From what I've been told, I can learn just about anything.
1 second as I see if he understands that meaning.
Let me simplify this. Let me make that a little easier for you. There are no limitations to what I can learn, apparently.
He looks at you with a raised brow before you see his lips turn into a large wolfish grin. Ah, you're one of them, then, mon cher. I've run into quite a few of you.
And that was by design. That was a choice.
You choose to be part of the clan list? Whew. That takes some balls right there.
Yeah, but think about what I do as a profession. Why be stuck with one set of skills when I could learn them all? Basically, patchwork, custom designed.
Well, far be it from me to stop someone from wanting to learn the best they can be. It would take quite a bit to learn up to my level and get to this, he says, gesturing to your newly finished tattoo. But I might be persuaded to give a lesson or two.
Let's talk.
Like I said, it'd take a bit of time. I mean, after all, it took me 5 decades to get to where I am right now with that.
I'm listening.
Like I said, I could always use a new canvas. Art and jewelry in exchange for lessons. How's that sound?
Canvas and jewelry? Done.
Excellent. I look forward to our lessons then, mon cher.
I'll make another appointment. I think this is going to be most beneficial for both of us.
Excellent. He actually goes into his wallet again, pulls out another business card. You see, though, this one actually has not bleeding colors on it, but actually has just Bastien Dugas and a different phone number on it. This is my personal number. Feel free to give me a text anytime you want, mon cher.
Will do.
And if you ever know anyone else that needs some new ink or jewelry, don't be afraid to send them my way.
Believe me when I tell you, the welcome I've received here has made me feel quite at home and comfortable. And you will most likely be at the very top of my list of recommendations, especially if that art is what you're putting out. And you queer friendly? Now that just sweetens the pot.
Yeah, gender is such a arbitrary thing, but thank you.
Gender is so outdated.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, I think you're going to be at the
Rowan
top.
actually signed something. Rowan signed something at Bastien with like a shit-eating grin, and Bastien's, I'm not that old.
And by the way, Rowan and Corey, when you meet them, is they them?
He signed something, and Bastien, even though he's still scowling at him, translates, I'll keep that in mind.
Good. I'm also they them.
Good to know. You don't mind if I keep calling you Mon Cher, though, do you?
Not at all.
Excellent.
If I did, you would have known. Well, with that being done, and I believe with a couple of different arrangements set up, I have other business to attend to, and I won't keep you any longer. Appreciate your hospitality and candor. And your willingness to talk.
When I see you didn't mean no harm to my ghoul over here, I didn't see a point in it. I will say, though, and he leans in closer, if you had done something else besides awe, that'd be a totally different story, Mon Cher.
I said I was just looking for information. A slight entrancement is all that's really needed.
Clearly, because apparently someone needs to continue the lessons in not falling for pretty people, he says, looking at Rowan, who's just...
Echo will get up out of the chair and pick up their jacket. Slip it back on. Well, like I said, I won't keep you any longer. I'm sure you have a hell of a night ahead of you.
We got a few appointments to do here and there, and I have some phone calls to make with some sorority girls.
You let me know when you get that set up.
You'll be the first to know, Mon Cher.
Appreciate it. And Echo will give a slight nod and walk out of the store.
As you leave Bleeding Color, the atmosphere changes from that strange blend of occults and gangs to the cool outside air. Not as stark of a difference as it is from the Velvet Pussycat to the outside, but definitely enough that you can still feel it in your bones. The neon colors of the sign above you illuminate the ground of the parking lot. What do you wish to do now?
Echo's going to look around for the vehicle that came in. I was actually going to pull the phone out of their pocket and start looking up Scrabble Latte's hours.
Scrabble Latte is actually a similar business where it is open from 6 p.m. till 12 a.m.
And
They
we'll...
cater to those.
Sorry, go ahead.
It seems their number one thing is they typically cater to those who don't want to spend their nights drinking, but still want a place where they can socialize. They actually have a rule where there's no alcohol allowed on the premises, and they're known for coffee and teas and lattes, and have, apparently, according to their Instagram, every board game under the sun.
And Echo will also look into either the nightlife the nightlife or Knife Light or whatever it was called, see if they can get a beat on that.
You look up and you do get a hit off of Nightlife, which instead of the N-I-G-H-T, it is actually spelled N-I-T-E. And it is a nightclub that opened up last year that has been booming, supposedly, with
many people coming and going, lots of Instagram ready walls, good lighting, which is surprising for a nightclub, but there is dancing and alcohol, and from what you can see, there have been no scandals reported there since its opening.
Hours of opening?
They are like most nightclubs, they are open from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. to 4 a.m.
What time is it?
Let's see, it is currently about 11:30.
Sun starts to rise around 4 or 5.
That it does. And you also know that Marcus had given you a warning that if he hadn't heard from you a few hours before sunrise, he would send Ro after you.
Send Marcus a quick text.
Okay. What did it say?
Still around, still kicking. The location I was looking at, pretty solid. Got a couple of leads. Don't know if I should follow up on them. What do you think?
It takes a few seconds for him to reply. As he replies back, your people are still safe. Do you think you can get it done before you have to be back at your haven, or do you think you need do you think you can do it before sunrise and also pick up your people, and also do you need backup? Do I send the sunshine?
ATM backup not needed. As for getting it done before sunrise and getting my people, might be doable, might be cutting it close.
There's a pause before he writes back. Perhaps wait for another night when your people aren't here. Also, your kid's looking sleepy. Currently sleeping in security room. And he actually sends you a photo of Corey on what appears to be a cot that you recall seeing set up in the corner of the security room, and she is currently sitting there on their phone, looking a little tired. And then there is another photo of Corey looking up and flashing the peace sign at Marcus.
I'll come get them.
He sends you a thumbs up emoji.
Echo will look for the vehicle that they came here in.
The vehicle actually pulls up in front of you.
And we'll hop in the car and ask to be dropped back off where they picked me up at.
And as the car drives you towards the Velvet Pussycat, that is where we are ending session